Yes, yes, yes. It is a Castworthy podcast, and we are back. It is Father's Day, Sunday, June 18th. And we are here, the Father's Pod, or the Pod Fathers, whichever
Podfather.
you want to call it. Um, Happy Father's Day, gentlemen.
Happy Father's Day, brother.
Happy Father's Day.
And
Hope you
happy
guys have.
Juneteenth tomorrow.
Facts.
You can't steal Father's Day for Juneteenth. Like, Juneteenth is tomorrow. Today's Father's Day. Not all fathers are black. let's start let's start somewhere. um you guys got plans today? VP, you said you was going to grab a little bite to nibble it on yesterday. How'd that go? Where'd you go?
Yeah, we did so you guys know, I don't know if the audience necessarily knows that
Hmm.
my wife was actually in the hospital on TJ. So all the plans we had for his birthday, none of them happened just because she was in the hospital.
I didn't know
So
that.
we Oh yeah. So we did kind of like a, belated birthday and like Father's Day on the same time. So we let him pick the place. And
Oh,
Yo,
tell
I
me
thought
all
he
about
wasn't.
it.
I thought he wasn't allowed to pick anything
they
anymore.
serve, they serve meals there now.
they,
He not even 21.
so we let him pick the place and he's like, let's go to Applebee's. He's like, I've never
Jesus,
eaten there before. And I'm like, oh my God.
Jesus Christ!
So
That you supposed to veto certain things, yo.
We're
I
gonna
let him do his thing.
go to a real nice place.
So yeah, so we went to Applebee's, you know,
You don't know
whatever.
better. TJ don't really
Yeah.
eat out. Y'all don't eat out much, so Applebee's is like that's the gateway anyway. Like, when he starts taking chicks out, that's where he should be starting. Like, you can't
Yeah.
you can't take him and have him start at like Roof Chris because
Right.
But
I mean, that was starter for me.
he's never supposed to pick anything though. Not a movie to watch, not the music, nothing. Like he's over like his whole life.
Yeah.
you got him.
Vari Vari
He's
always
about,
complains about the stuff he picks.
he's about to
Yeah.
be a senior though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you got to eventually got to see if anything has changed. Also, that's how you can tell if you've been skipping school. He take you somewhere crazy, like, yo, we ain't never been here. How you know about this place?
It's Florida. It ain't Connecticut or New York, brother. Like he ain't getting there. It ain't like he walked to that joint or took the bus somewhere.
And
Like
then I drove with him yesterday too. Yesterday was the first time I've driven in a car with him
mhm.
driving. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, he drives good. He still got to learn. He brakes kind of late. And he drives a little fast for my taste. You know, like he's not like crazy speeding. Like he's just a touch. Be driving without me in the car.
I told you it was his internet.
Yep.
That's just because you're used to Aaron. Aaron don't drive very fast, right?
No, I mean I don't really like anybody. To be honest.
Yeah, me neither. I don't like being. I hate being a passenger. I don't trust nobody. I feel like you. I feel like whoever's driving can't see what I see.
Only time I
Exactly.
don't mind it is when I'm in an Uber, but that's usually when I get the worst driving. But
Mm,
I be drunk, so I don't care.
yeah, like, yo, do you see them brake lights? Tell me you see them brake lights. Dog, do you
Bruh,
see them brake lights? Like, when I
bruh.
see brake lights, I start to brake. Like, I don't wait till I see brake lights and I'm within a car's length to start braking.
Right.
Yeah,
Some people just crazy. Like, come on, man.
yeah. I don't know, EJ. Even being drunk in an Uber or cab, man. Like when I was in Japan, you get in those taxis over there, and like we have to catch the bus to go like base to base. And you would tell the dude to be like late. You're trying to make that last bus, and you'd be like, "Yo, I need to get back to Camp Foster." And you tell the taxi driver like, "Hubba hubba." That means like, go fast. They be driving down alleys, like, it be like, yo, where the fuck are we? Like you in an alley, you driving behind like houses and shit. Like it's crazy, yo. But they get you there.
Hubba hubba is nasty in itself.
Right. I just finished Hubba Hubba. Get me back to the base quick. Gotta pee this out.
Hubba hubba. Hubba hubba.
Yeah.
That's
Nasty, man.
crazy. That's nasty work, yo. Steve,
Um,
what you got going on today, man?
I don't know, man. I have no clue. It was supposed to be a rainy weekend, and it rained yesterday, but it looks like it's going to be pretty decent here today. So,
Man, it rained crazy
uh,
yesterday.
yeah, it's been raining last few days, but yesterday was a little rough.
Yeah,
So, hopefully, it kind of holds up today. I don't know what I'll be doing. Maybe I'll just chill. I've been watching TV and shit. So, yesterday I didn't do shit. I was happy it rained.
You was up late
Uh,
night last night watching TV, wasn't you?
nah, I fell asleep on the couch. Like
I put your steak on the grill, man.
I put the recliner up and was gone like like 9:30.
Sheesh.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man, no grilling on Father's Day. Should not have to do that. That's one of the nastiest things that's been happening over the years. Seeing men having to grill their own food on Father's Day. It's nasty work, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, the only reason I'm saying that is I think Steve does the grilling around there.
yeah, I know that much. I'm saying the act of labor on Father's Day is the problem.
I
Like
got you.
you know
I
what I
got you.
mean? Like my uncle, man, for years, you know what I mean, it'd be Father's Day, this dude be on there sweating, you know what I mean? And it's like they enjoying themselves because the idea is, I get to feed my family another day. But it's the sad part. It's like even the dude could say, I don't want to do anything, but it's like keep the same energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I don't want to do anything, but it doesn't mean treat my day like it's nothing. You know what I mean?
I
So
got you.
don't let that man grill. Shit. My youngest forgot it was Father's Day. This little nigga,
Sure, I
Well,
forgot.
she don't know. She's what,
She's 8,
7, 8?
going
Yeah,
on 9.
she not gonna remember Father's Day. It's just Sunday.
Yeah, I know. I usually text the kids to
And at
remember.
that age, they don't do like the hand paint and shit, right? They stopped doing that by the time they 9, like on in school,
I don't
or
know.
do they still have them do? Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't
So
know
like
what they do.
I got a little hand painting, but that's because pre-K type shit. I
Yeah,
think by the
Well, they
time you're 8
usually
or
they
9,
usually make them do something, make them do a card or something. But I try to,
for Mother's Day, yeah.
yeah,
Father's
and
Day, shit, they
exactly,
don't care.
and I try to text the kids, to make sure that they remember. You know what I'm saying? Because they forget Mother's Day, but
Do they have a mother? Because
yes,
I
they
don't
do.
think it's a father's job to remind the kids of Father's Day. Like the mother,
no,
even
he's saying
now.
he texted to remind them of Mother's Day,
Yeah, yeah, I know.
but it's
Right,
not
right.
happening. Implication.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But just keep the same energy. I mean, just keep the energy for the fathers. But we all know how that goes. It is what
What
it
you got
is.
planned today, EJ?
Uh, I'm gonna start drinking soon.
So
I
regular old Sunday.
No, I mean I haven't been really going in like that, man, because my sinuses have just been all over the place. So it's just like it defeats the purpose. Like my sinuses are raging right now. But I mean the fact that we have Juneteenth off tomorrow, I got another day.
Let's
Thanks,
see.
Joe.
Who
Yes,
got
thank you, Joe.
Juneteenth off?
Thank you,
Tomorrow's
Joseph.
a holiday?
Yes, it is.
Is it
National
a
holiday.
paid? Tomorrow's a paid holiday?
Yes, it is.
Says who?
Says
It was
jobs
at
that
my
care.
job.
Says jobs that show they care about the Negroes.
Oh, I'm off tomorrow then. I just didn't even know it.
Yeah.
And then maybe they don't know it either, but I'm off. Um,
Well, I
you
mean, like my company started. What was wild for us is that like they announced that like our company was going to be doing some business, like some kind of contract they had got with the federal government, and it was like around the time that Joe was talking about making Juneteenth a holiday or whatever. And normally, like regular corporations, you have to like one of the things that the government makes you do is like be in line with like their holiday policy.
Mm-hmm.
And so at first it was like, so we got off like a reflection,
got to restart.
the government, and then it just was the norm now. So it's just one of our holidays now.
You yeah, so it's a paid holiday, or is it like one of
Mm-hmm.
them?
It's a
It's
It's a
paid
like
holiday.
national holiday now. National paid holiday, brother.
hmm,
I mean, you probably get it, Steve. It's probably added in now.
I'm not doing this with him today. I'm not. I'm not. I tried to stop this. No, EJ want to be in a rush. Here we go. You so
Well, he the
EJ
one saying he doing the same thing.
so EJ so you're off tomorrow.
Hmm.
Uh you going to a brunch or you driving from or you drinking at home?
I don't know. I haven't made that plan
Decided
too
there's
far.
no sports on today, so
No sports,
I mean baseball, but that's a normal
baseball
Sunday.
and
Nothing major to watch.
baseball in June at that.
Are you drinking with the missus today?
Nope, I don't believe so. So yeah, I mean it's one of those things. Whoever, whatever one of the fellas catch on to the wave is what I'm gonna do. But you know,
Whoever chimes into the pod first and texts you.
yep, whoever texts me. But you know, I'll go out by myself in a heartbeat, man. You have to. You know what I mean? You know, people don't understand like men and women move differently. You know what I'm saying? They gotta know the plan. They gotta know this. They gotta know that. We just like, yo, we gonna wing it. We all right. You know, I'm just gonna move. I'm cool. You know, so I rather just do that and not have to worry about anything or anybody.
I don't do that much over here, like but if I'm back home, like when I was back home, I don't care. I do, but over here, I don't really. It's too big. It's too commercial out here. You got small spots out there that you could go to and shit. Like
Hmm.
when you have
Local.
that, then you could go by yourself. Plus, you'll bump into motherfuckers. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like Norm, so everywhere I go at the bar, it's like, hey, so yeah, I didn't want to do anything crazy. I just wanted to, just be able to enjoy a drink and not have to worry about getting up for work tomorrow, especially being that my sinus has been killing me. I haven't really, got a little bit in, you know what I mean? But, you know,
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I don't really have anything scheduled for right now, so I don't know what the day is gonna look like. But it is what it is. Um, so we'll wait for VP before we get into any of the super fun stuff. But last week I took a little trip. I think I told you guys about my little ride back home.
nah, you said you had it, but I don't think you really went into detail.
It's how I could tell I'm getting old, man. I'm still recouping. Like it's a week later, and I'm still recouping from that ride. That ride was it was about 21 hours total, and I just haven't. I guess I haven't gotten the sleep that I need to recoup from it. Got back on a Sunday, and went back to work on Monday. Normal
Oh
type
yeah,
shit.
you're done. You're done. Absolutely done. You're spent. I mean, I've been cleaning out this basement for like the last 2 weeks, and I mean, I just crashed last night at some point, and that was only for like an hour and a half. But at a certain point in time, your body just telling you, man, it's time to slow it down.
Yeah, the age will do it. The age will do it. Um, did you get any gifts for Father's Day yet?
Nope. I mean, just a lot of text messages from family and friends early on. But I told the kids I didn't really want anything. I don't really. I mean, growing up in my household, only having mom, being the parental figure overall, it wasn't really a big thing for me. But seeing other guys and being around other guys' family, and their fathers, I can appreciate those guys but they didn't do nothing, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those things, like it's one of
Has
those things.
has like social media and text like made like holiday like Father's Day, Mother's Day, and stuff like less intimate as far as like wishes and stuff. Like everybody. I feel like people just do a blanket text, turn off the group text option so that everyone they send it to gets the same thing. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
Or they're sending the same gift to like 30 people and shit. Like, do you feel like
I mean, with Father's Day, it's just different. It's just different. It's not the same. Like someone said, you can go to any restaurant you want. It's not going to be packed. And it's a lot of
True.
reasons for that. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of reasons for that. A lot of communities and cultures, especially those urban culture. The fatherhood thing is still something we working on. In our generation, a lot of us didn't have it, so that's one thing. The male in this country is celebrated way differently than females are, and that's a societal, cultural thing at times. So, I mean, it's a lot that contributes to that. It's just like men. You might get a steak, you might get the big piece of chicken.
I
You know,
think we don't care. Like I think men
we
for the
don't.
most part don't really care. We care more about, whether our kids appreciate us if you're a good father, right? If you're a good father, and you're around your kids and you do right for your kids, you care if your kids appreciate you. You don't give a shit about what anybody else thinks about you. Like I know I don't. I don't give a fuck what nobody think about me. I don't care if anybody appreciates or likes the way I'm parenting, you know what I'm saying? But as long as I feel like I'm doing right and my kid appreciates me, then I don't give a fuck about Father's Day. So I think that's the difference. Like you'll never hear, like you hear women more than men feel like there's some level of entitlement to anything, whatever it is, because they're a mom versus a father. You'll never, like, you don't hear dads on Mother's Day saying, "Oh, I'm a single dad," this deadbeat bitch, is crackhead. And, like, you don't hear that. you know but if you
Yeah.
go look at your timeline today, guarantee you'll see 10, 15 single moms that'll be out there. Oh, those pulling double duty, it's a hard job. you
Yeah.
see you see the moms that post their sons when they hit 16, 17, or whatever, dressed up. And who says a mom can't raise you? Like, it's just a whole, we talk about double standards all the time, but I think that's partially why the restaurants and stuff. I think people realize that if you're like a real dad, a good dad is just here to be the dad versus being fully celebrated. You know what I'm saying? Give me my flowers when I ask for it, but I don't need the flowers on an
And,
annual basis like that.
and that's the unsung difference and we're talking about the best case involved, or parenting father, that are parents, because we understand that there are those that are not around, but that's the unsung difference, I believe, in men and women. You know what I mean? Like, it could be your birthday or whatever, like, just the reaction that
It's,
you get,
it's
it's
not
it's
my
not the
birthday for
same.
a month.
Yeah, it's not, and it's just like anything you do. It's like, when the missus has to do something, oh, you got to be there on time. Everybody's got to be ready 2 hours ahead of time. You can't be late, this, that, and the third. When it's your thing, I'm trickling down, and oh, it's just football, why? It's so it's one of those things, man. And I think it's just across the board in a lot of ways. It's just, that's just the thing. Sadly, for men, that's how we do.
They need to move Father's Day to football season. Like they need to take Father's Day out of June and put it in the middle of football season. Where, I mean, I know not everybody's football fans and shit, but like for me, I would love on a Father's Day to wake up and watch like all day, like a 9 a.m. London game, all the way to like a double header late night game type shit, and just be watching football till like 1 in the morning. Like that would be the ideal fucking
I think you have
Father's
solved.
Day for me.
I think you have solved Father's Day. Father's Day should be in September or October during college football and professional football season. Absolutely. It's not too hot. So if you decide to grill, like prime example, one of my best homies, also from the Bronx, right? His wife is expecting their second child. It's Father's Day, but he has to go to the baby shower, which is at a park outside in the heat on Father's Day.
And he's gonna
What
get overshadowed. His whole day getting overshadowed by the bump. The bump.
what dude wants to have the baby shower at a park outside in June on Father's Day? None of us. But got to do what you got to do.
Some of them. So there's a couple out there, you know. But nonetheless, welcome back, VP. We were just talking about, if you missed it, the difference between Mother's Day, Father's Day, a little bit. I think
No, I
with
didn't miss it.
Father's, even the marketing is. I know I saw you were probably chimed in. Um, Even the marketing is different. Like people, go to the extreme on social media, but like if you look at, you go on online right now and just look at one site, any site, Walmart, Kohl's, and just go like the gifts that the dads will love, and you click on it, it'd be like some bullshit ass socks. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a T-shirt, like, oh, this is world's greatest dad T-shirt, like shit
Power
like
tools.
that.
Power tools.
Power tools, right? Like we're supposed to fucking
Here's a
giving us
better
power
way.
tools on Father's Day is like us giving a vacuum on Mother's Day. Like that's like for
Here's
real.
a better way to effectively do some shit you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Yo, give me the fucking give me the number to the Task Rabbit. Give me a Task Rabbit gift card on Father's Day to get somebody come fix these gates or some shit. Like that's what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
but it is what it is, man. Nonetheless, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. To you gentlemen as well. I hope everyone enjoys the day. EJ, once you decide what you'll be seasoning your liver with, it should be an interesting day in the chat, I'm sure. Speaking of fathers, man, y'all think T Morant is having a conversation with John Morant today on Father's Day? Think today's a good day for that?
If I'm Team Morant, Ja better be flying me wherever, doing the above and beyond. Because like I said, this guy put the ball in his crib, made his life the way it is to get to this point. But I think he's probably just grateful that his kid is alive. Playing with all these guns to his head and doing all this stupidness, being overly intoxicated. He could have set one off and been one of the biggest tragedies. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure T's having a pretty good day and he's thankful and grateful, because they do have other kids. So
Well, he's gonna have like half a season to, figure out what he's gonna do because he ain't gonna be courtside. Because NBA came out, suspended John Morant for 25 games. Adam Silver announced earlier this week. Do you guys think, first of all, do you think that's gonna stand? And then, second of all, do you think 25 games was enough?
yes and no. In that order, I believe 20. I think the 25 games is definitely going to stand. And I don't think it was enough. I think it was pretty light considering when you look at the longest suspensions, and you see, okay, Latrell Sprewell got 60 something games, but he did physically harm a coach. Uh, Meta World Peace, was knocking out fans. Okay, and then OJ Mayo had the doping situation, but then you look at Gilbert Arenas, who had 50 games, brought the guns into the arena situation. Um, but Ja Morant, when you think about it, while his incidents were mostly, for the most part, off the court, off outside of the arena, in his car, maybe legally possessed handguns, we don't know. Because we never found that out. The other thing is, it's just been it's been incident after incident, especially the one considering his homie doing the red dot thing. Whether that was true, the fact that it's even smoke there, it's got to be somewhat true, and that in itself, when you're talking about one of his homies putting a dot on another NBA staffer, that in itself was kind of crazy. Even if we haven't gotten the inside information about a lot of this stuff, but just the discussion is just crazy. So 25 games, when you look at somebody and everything that he's been doing, he kind of got off a little light, even though it's a large percentage of the season. Hey, listen, in 2023, this dude could have gotten way more, because the guys I mentioned, that's kind of ancient times. This is over 20 years. So if
And the
cats
visibility,
and the
there's a
visibility
difference.
is way different now. You know what I mean? We've seen this guy. Like, could you imagine if we saw Gilbert Arenas with the guns?
And so you're saying he should have a menace to society clause right now, three strikes you're out type of thing for Ja. Like we got him going and approaching a 17-year-old in a sneaker store, right? And getting into it with a 17-year-old. And people will be like, well, he's only 23. Yeah, but you got to be a mature 23. You're playing in the NBA. We got him in a strip club waving a gun, intoxicated in the middle of the season.
On
We got
IG.
on IG. We've got reports that after a game, his entourage approached another team and then put a red dot on their team bus. Then we've got the most recent, and I'm sure I'm forgetting something else in there, but then we got the most recent waving the gun in the vehicle with his comrade. So and then this dumbass, and I'll give it to you in a sec, VP. Then this dumbass, so he gets his suspension, right? And he just feels it necessary to now record another video of him with a gun lighter lighting his candles to kind of try and maybe push home, drive home that it was a toy gun fucking excuse that they came out. Like, my dude, you should not be touching anything that resembles a fucking gun at all. Like, get your suspension and go sit the fuck down. Like, 25 games, I get it. VP says it's a third of the season, a little more than a third of the season, and he'll get to his point. In my opinion, though, nah, I think he should have been gone for either a full season. It should have been a very long time. Like, you got it. Like, 25 games is not going to change his behavior. I guarantee it. Guarantee we'll be back having this conversation in a few months.
So, excuse me. It's just under a third of the season, 30%. I'm torn on it because like we talked about offline, I agree with the suspension, right? I understand that they have detriment to the team in these contracts, and so the NBA was rights to suspend Ja Morant for what it deemed to be behavior that's detrimental to the league, given all the mass shootings and things like this that take place in this country, the kind of stances that the NBA takes in saying that they support legislation to make gun safety a priority in this country and that kind of thing like that, right? Mm-hmm. So it's understandable the NBA stance on this. The problem that I have with the suspension is that, and this is given how I feel about guns. I mean, it's not like it's no secret, how I feel about guns on this podcast or to us all. But a guy who is essentially practicing his Second Amendment right to own guns. He lives in a state that is an open carry state that allows you to carry guns openly anywhere, right? He lives in one of the first states that actually passed laws that said that you can actually open carry in bars. And I only bring that up to the point that Steve made about Ja having a gun out like in the strip club or whatever. And it's things like this that people like me talked about when they passed that law, allowing people to open carry guns in bars. Said this is going to be a problem. You have people drunk carrying guns. Like, what could go wrong? You know what I mean? So that's my only problem of it, is that you're doing something that's completely legal and you're being suspended for it. Like, it's like, I know a lot of people will try to bring up like the weed debate and say, in Colorado, it's legal to smoke weed. And I bet if somebody from Nuggets smoke weed, they're going to get right. While it's legal in the state of Colorado, it's still illegal on the federal level. So the NBA at least could have that in their corner, which they're going to use the contract that they got that in their corner, So that's my only problem with the suspension. It's just, I think it's a little long, given that it's 30% of the season. And, you're essentially suspending him for doing something that is totally legal in this country.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Every company has their rules and their guidelines. I know you didn't dismiss it and you acknowledged it. So I don't want you to feel like that's what I'm saying you did, but justifying the break of those laws or the inability to punish someone due to those rules because there is a law that says that it's okay to do this otherwise. I don't see that, right? So, for example, I would say that just about any company has some type of rule about reporting your arrest or charge of conviction, right? Like you can go get arrested on a Saturday, you catch a DUI on a Saturday and get out by Monday and go to work. And 90% of major corporations out there, if you don't report that to your HR team, you're going to probably be subject to corrective action that could probably include up to termination, right? Um, how's that any different from the NBA? Now, I get it. He didn't get arrested, he didn't get in trouble, but one could make, you know, the argument that he put a lot of people in danger. He's got a stripper sitting on his lap intoxicated waving a gun, right? And we've seen far too many of these videos that are airing where people are getting shot in the head accidentally and whatever the case may be, right? Not only that, the stripper came out and was like, yo, this dude still hasn't apologized to me, like, for putting me in harm's way. Like, all of that comes into play for me. And I'm not attacking your argument, VP. I'm just making my argument as to why I'm opposed to, you know, the laws superseding, you know, the company or the organization making that decision as the NBA.
And, and I hear what you're saying, right? And I don't necessarily disagree with it, right? But I think that, you know, it kind of, sometimes these arguments can be nuanced, and you know, you got to kind of, you know, look at each situation as being its own individual thing, you know. And again, I don't necessarily disagree with the suspension. I just think that the fact that you're suspending him for doing something that he's totally legally within his rights to do, you know, it gives me a little pause. I don't work for the NBA, so I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not gonna lose any sleep over John Morant being suspended. You know what I mean? He
Or
played with
not
my
being
team.
suspended for that matter, right?
Right. You know, so I'm fine with it either way. It just gives me a little pause. You know, it kind of, you know, this is a little bit of a different topic, and not trying to change the subject, but just to kind of put you in the frame of mind, give you the frame of mind I'm in. It kind of gives me a little pause. Like I remember when Anwar al-Awlaki, who was a Al-Qaeda technically, when Obama ordered him killed or whatever. This dude was an American citizen living overseas, and Obama ordered a drone strike on him and killed him. And some people, including myself, found it a little troubling that the president is just ordering American citizens be killed. You know what I mean? Like his constitutional rights didn't end because he left the country. You know what I mean? And other people would argue, this dude's a terrorist, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I get all that, but it's like, you know, we're supposed to be a nation of laws. The president isn't supposed to just be able to order citizens killed. You know what I'm saying? So and I like, this isn't the same thing. I'm just saying that, you know, you're doing something totally legal, and your job is now saying, yeah, you can't work here for 30% of the year because, you know, you did this thing we don't like. And it just, you know, it gives me pause.
But the thing about it is, and going back to Steve's point, you know, that is a very valid point, and that is extremely true. And that's the part of the fine print, you know, when you sign these contracts. And then, you know, again, we don't know the depth of the morality clauses that these guys are under. But I could see if this was a one-off. I could see if this was the first time. You know, this dude has had so much going on around it. You know, when you take everything that has been surrounding his name and you get 25 games, I think he's lucky, because just everything that was around him that's happened, and they've kept it under wraps, to be honest, because, you know, you've heard conflicting stories about the situation with the homeboy, the situation with the entourage alone. If that was true by itself, that is just as bad as like when Conor McGregor was you know, trying to attack the other team's bus, you know, in the UFC situation. People got hurt. Like, if this dude let off and hurt someone, that in itself should have been enough for Ja Morant to get well over 25 games. And then there was situation after situation after situation after situation. So I can see if it was just a one-off and he was being irresponsible with a gun. And then, you know, we can get into the semantics of all of that kind of stuff. But it's kind of just like, brother, you know, okay, you own, well, and again, we still don't know the ownership technicalities of the gun in the situation, but let's just assume he owns it legally in that state, all good, whatever, or doesn't even need licensing in that state, whatever it is, right? Again, that was one thing. There were multiple things that as a league, as an organization, they may have seemingly swept under the rug, but you just keep getting into shit. So it's just like, even outside of that, your ass needs to be taxed. So he's kind of lucky, man. And when you also consider a kid that sat out 19 games, for injury, and his team was successful, what I'm saying? You kind of look at it like, in his mind, and to Steve's point, I really wonder if the 25 games is really going to be enough for him to understand the severity of his actions. And when you're talking about a suspension, right, that's supposed to be the mission behind it. So I don't know, just at that level, that he set out 19 games. He looked at it like, hey, my team still flourished. I came back. Everything was all right. I don't know that he's looking at 25 games and he's thinking that that was a lot. So I just think, if the mission was to really get him to sit down and understand that he needs to change, I don't think 25 games is going to do it for him.
Nah, you're probably right. And this would never happen, but I would say the way you solve these things is you put something in the contract that says, "Hey, we're giving you John Morant this $200 million contract, but if we're gonna have like this act right clause. If you don't act right, this shit's gonna revert to like $100 million contract or something like that. You know what I mean? Like instantly." And I think that'll get like some of these guys who are like the quote unquote bad boys of the league to act differently to things that the league don't want to happen like outside of the game.
Yeah, yeah. I think overall that's the key, right? Is just making sure, and I'm sure that's it's probably outlined. We don't know, right? And we also don't know, the scope of the conversation that he had with Adam Silver the first time, right? So that's the other piece. Like, you came back last time, you sat in my office. I'm sure you probably was like, "Yo, I get it, boss. I get it, boss. Like, I made a bad decision. I was under stress because all of that bullshit." And Silver Pie was like, "All right, well, we can't have it happen again." Some shit like
Yeah.
that, right? And he's like, "All right, as long as you tell me it's not gonna happen again, we won't have any problems." Blah blah blah. So whatever, however that conversation went, and then this dude turns around and the season ain't even end yet, and Adam Silver's turning on the TV like, "Oh my god." Not the
Yeah.
guy that I want to be the face of the league, or one of the faces of the league to come. Once Bron, and that's the other thing, we talked about it before. The NBA is grasping at straws of who's going to be the next guy. Like, they're going to hold on to Bron as long as possible, but you need marketability, and the NBA is not marketing itself simply off of games. You know what I'm saying? You need that guy, and I don't know that there's somebody lined up today that we could say is concrete that guy outside of after LeBron. I mean, I think John Morant might be one of the closest ones. Like, these kids want to be like him. Like,
Yeah.
like Steph kind of came into play while LeBron's here, and he's an older guy, so he changed the game a bit with everyone wanting to shoot, shoot, shoot. But there's not another Steph like that behind him for the most part. And so you need that guy. And I think Ja, being a small, frail guy who's willing to jump out the gym, could dribble, move up and down the court quickly, is in tune with, every day, whatever's going on every day, right? The hip hop, whatever the
Culture.
culture has going on. He's super in tune with it. That's the guy that you would want to market if you're the NBA. But it makes it difficult when you got him doing this type of shit, right? And so if I'm Silver, I get it, man, and maybe the 25 is for that reason. Like, we can't lose that money, and we're seeing like Nike was like, "Yo, we stand behind him. We're glad that he's taking accountability." The same people that just came off of, ending their relationship with Kyrie, but it's okay for this guy because why? He's 23 and probably has a long career ahead of him, and you don't want to fuck up that money. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy what money will do.
Yeah.
Crazy what money will do. But yeah, man, we'll see. We'll continue to watch this space and see. Hopefully, hopefully this is enough for John Morant to kind of move on into his after his 25 games. Um What else we got going on, EJ? What else we got on the topic list? I will let you
Home
bust
Depot. Home Depot.
the Ho Depot.
Ayo. Do not call that young lady a hoe.
I
She's
didn't
actually
call
the
her anything. I just rebranded the company.
Home Depot. Okay.
Do we know her name? I just had it up and I lost. It's like but I forget her name. But for those who don't know, last week there was a young lady who works for the Home Depot, a very attractive young lady who's apparently very Christian as well. And she posted a picture on social media in her Home Depot uniform, and it kind of sent the world in a turmoil. People were, she basically said something like, you can go out and work, you don't have to do OnlyFans. Pretty women can get money, you know, this way as well. And of course,
Ariana Josephine.
Ariane Josephine. Then you have the, of course, you have the pro sex workers, the VPs of the world, that immediately took this young lady and slandered her and threw her in the dirt for judging other people's ways of getting money. And then
Wow.
it's
Wow.
it got so big that even Shaq crept into her DMs and was like, "Yo, keep getting money." Of course, I think
Hello,
it's more
mama.
than just I think it's more than Shaq, just trying to tell her to get money. 'Cause Shaq is a nasty man lately, creeping
Hmm.
around the streets with Brittany and all of them. Anyway, um, but this young lady, through it all, it turns out this week she came out and said she's gotten a lot of hate mail, if you will, from people judging her and criticizing her. Although she's gone to upwards of 170,000 fans or followers on her social media platforms due to this situation, she now feels like she's going to have to step away from Home Depot and move on with her life. How tragic.
How convenient.
Hey
This
man.
is my issue with it, right? My whole issue with what she said was just the fact that she talked about, she her the point of her video is, I look like this, right? She's saying I'm a extremely attractive young lady, right?
Can
But
see it.
I got a job at Home Depot, and I'm getting money the right way, you know, implying that if you do any other kind of work, whether you're thirst trapping on Instagram, OnlyFans, whatever, that's the wrong way. You know
Cardi
what I
B
mean?
robbing people.
And and that's the problem that I had with it, right? Because who determines what's right or wrong? You know what I mean? Now, there are people who defend this young lady saying, yeah, she's absolutely right, right? And those same people who talk about her getting the money the right way will criticize people who criticize a guy like a Dave Chappelle when he makes jokes about trans people, and he's getting paid from that, right? And those people say he's not, that's not the right way to do comedy. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't have it both ways. Like, people do things for work. If you're not doing anything illegal, you're not harming anyone. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like people on OnlyFans are selling drugs. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
yeah, coochie is a drug, depending who you ask. It is addictive. It is addictive. Um, nah, but the stigma that a beautiful woman like that, isn't the norm. Like I don't know if y'all go in Home Depot regularly, but I do. Like I actually I got to go to Home Depot today, but usually the customer service desk be okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, when you're walking through the aisles, of course you're seeing, them things back there. You seeing the likes. Never mind. Especially here in Florida. But behind the customer service desk, usually I think that's pretty, pretty in line with Home Depot's structure, if you will, employee structure. Because I'm telling you, I go return stuff and that I bought. Maybe I bought too many screws, or my wood is too big. Pause. And I gotta, I gotta bring the plank back or whatever. And you know, shorties behind there usually be alright. So I guess the branding, what people think the Home Depot brand is for women that work there is, or if you go get paint. You ever been to the paint counter at Home Depot? Listen. Y'all don't go to Home Depot. All right, I see. It's just me.
Listen, I mean, I get the part of shaming those that want to get theirs. But as a woman, we always say, women should have their right and entitlement to feel how they want to feel. Speaking as a woman and what she believes is what she believes. I respect it. And the message, I think, while it could be damning to one community, I think it could be empowering to what young women do need to hear. Maybe if she just removed the shaming piece. You know, uh, I think the message is good for young people, that believe that OnlyFans is the only way to get it. I believe that was a good part of it. So I mean, on the flip side, you see OnlyFans models shaming people like her that work 9 to 5s all the time. I'm not working on nine to
Right, and that's
five.
and that's not right.
Yeah, I mean, so it's par for the course. You know what I mean? And
Right.
And
you
from what
know,
I've read online, a lot of these OnlyFans girls are crooks. In my reading online, my research for this podcast specifically, I have heard that these OnlyFans women will send out these promotions like, oh, it's only $4.99, and then you get there and $4.99 you get to watch them clean their house, but you got to tip them another $50 if you really trying to get to the shits. At least that's what I've heard online.
did that in
Um,
research, huh?
that's what I read. That's what I read.
Very true.
Um, Listen, I got Reddit, bro. I'm never going to OnlyFans. Reddit is
How does that
free.
work? Never mind. I ask you offline how that works. I asked you offline. It's,
But no, I
yeah.
think that to EJ's point, right? She could have made that same post and just said like,
Out
yo,
here getting it.
I'm going to school. I'm out here getting it, working at Home Depot.
No
It
shade,
pays the
no shade
bills,
to those others, but
right?
mm,
No shame to nobody else, but this works better for me.
but that's
And
how she feels. That's how she
right,
feels.
it's nothing wrong with her feeling it. I'm not trying to say she can't feel the way she feels. You know what I mean? Like people believe in religion, I think it's bullshit. I don't care that they believe in it.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
my problem is when they try to force those beliefs on other people, right?
I mean,
So,
that's how we feel about you when you say no guns.
well, I don't technically say no guns. Like if like if I was king for a day, there would be no guns. But I understand there has to be a compromise. You know,
Okay,
I'm
okay.
saying some guns, but let's not get off topic. Like it's nothing wrong with her saying, hey, I'm out here working at Home Depot, getting out the mud, blah blah blah. It's all good. But to make it seem like these other people who look like me and do OnlyFans or whatever other
Well,
site, they're a
let me
problem.
let me shoot her bail though, because she technically didn't say that was the wrong way. She just said what she believes is her right way.
Listen,
Technically,
I mean,
it's different because if she was to be like, if you don't want to coach all, you don't want to producer all up on your OnlyFans, like, bitches don't be on OnlyFans, don't be doing all of this. She kind of didn't say that. She kind of didn't say that. She kind of defined her right way as her right way, and she kind of left it there. So I can shoot her a little bail to the point where she didn't really go as far to the right as OnlyFans
We're
model.
definitely reading into what she said, like
Yeah,
so
yeah, I
so
get it.
I can give that as well.
Yeah, give her a little bell. Give her a little bell. It's her right way, and she ain't say it was everybody right way.
listen. I want to go on record as saying, looking at her Instagram page, she's got a lot of
Thirst traps.
she's got some images that could be that would make me go look for the link tree. Let's just say that. Like if this popped up on my explore page, I'm looking for the link tree, because I expect there to be an OnlyFans. And so actually now she has a link tree link in her profile,
Mhm.
where she's added her Amazon storefront, her Shine reference link, her YouTube channel. So all of that is there now. And so and she's got 197,000 followers now. So all of this woe is
I
me
bet she didn't have
bullshit.
130,000 followers before.
No.
100,
So all this woe is me
197.
bullshit, and not only that, but 6 days ago she went ahead and put another one up, another post up in the Home Depot apron, and of course, I'll read it to you. Last post about Home Depot since the world is illegally doxing my location and job. Y'all turned something innocent into something crazy and ruined my way of making money by seriously taking the internet too far. Thanks for all the nice people I've spoken to and inspired, and thanks to the hate because it's helped me grow closer to God and be more tough skin. Listen, she bamboozled us. She bamboozled the world. Um,
Undefeated.
and let me tell you something. I'm not mad at her for it. I am absolutely not mad at her for it because people are out here looking for ways to go viral every single day. You got kids out here putting themselves in harm's way. They're walking up to people randomly in stores trying to be funny. They're shooting them with water guns. They're fucking pushing their carts away, doing stupid shit like that. So she decided to be, creative and said, "You know what? Let me try this." And it worked. And it's and she's now it looks like a Shine advocate. I just saw a post of hers where she's got an outfit on and she's tagged Shine in it. Like she's doing that. So you can't be mad at her, but I just want her. I'm mad at her because I want her to just come on and be like, "Yo, it worked. I went for it. I took
Exactly.
my shot, and it worked. I got 200,000 followers. She fine. So that 200,000 probably gonna turn to 300 or 400 or 600. Eventually, she'll have 1 million followers. She's probably gonna get interviewed by some of these larger talk show hosts. She's gonna be on radio shows. Like she just made it off of basically posting Home Depot and using their logo.
Right. And then she's saying people are doxing me, so I got to leave my job. Right. And 3 months from now, I'm going to go on Instagram and I'm going to see a Home Depot sponsored ad by her, where she's promoting Home Depot. And instead of making $7.95 an hour at Home Depot, that's something they're going to pay her 50 grand to do, like for one
Mhm.
shot. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it seems
Possibly.
like it seems like this thing is going exactly where she wanted to go. So it is what it is, right? I mean, you can't knock the hustle. You're not doing nothing illegal, but
Undefeated.
but like miss me with the woe is me shit.
But here's the
Undefeated.
thing. I do give it to her because this worked out. If this didn't work out, she could have easily, like, if this didn't pop off like this and just getting the Shaq DM is enough, like, she could have probably made a couple dollars, you know? She could have made a couple. I'm sure Shaq would have flown her out because Shaq has been on some wild boy shit lately.
Yeah, Shaq. It ain't tricking if you got it. So
Yo, I see why Shawnee. I see why Shawnee did what she did. Shaq been seen with Brittany Griner lately. Shaq crept in this young lady's DMs and was like, "Keep doing
Brittany
what you're
Renner.
doing." Brittany Renner. I'm sorry,
Renner, right?
Brittany Griner. Wrong one.
Oh, you said I thought he said
Listen,
I thought he
man.
said Reiner. I thought he just pronounced it okay.
No. Yeah, definitely said the wrong one. Very wrong. Like way wrong. Um, but yeah, he crept in her DM lately. They were seen strolling around. Like Shaq is on some wild boy shit. And this was probably his opportunity, but he might have missed it now because she got followers and she's got a reach.
Yeah,
Still Shaq. He'll be
yeah.
all
I was
right.
just about to say that.
She'll
Yeah,
answer.
she fine though.
But you know what? On the flip side, and I have to apologize to this person, Zion Williamson, y'all.
I am not
We
apologizing.
talk about OnlyFans and all of the other stuff, right? But when you look at it in hindsight, yo, this dude is a victim. You know, we cracked on him about being green and naive and stupid and all of that, right? But if this was a guy who was ousting the famous female or ousting any female about the sexual activity that they got into, the things that she said she would promise and do, and put it all on social media, we would attack that person. We would attack him. We would say, lock this guy up. He's bullying her. This chick Mariah Mills, you're mad because he does not want to mess with you. Leave him alone. You're cyberbullying him. You're putting out his information that about his sex habits and all of these things, and trying to extort him basically for money.
It's
And
true.
it's kind of sad. He's a young 23-year-old kid. We said he was green, he was innocent. You preyed on this dude. You preyed on him. You got the
He's a
receipts.
dumbass, though. This nigga's a dummy.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah, I agree with you.
so
I agree with
I mean, so can the people. So can be said about the people on if the genders were reversed, right? This kid is out
you. Or
here.
the people that hung out with Bill Cosby in the 40s.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, again, you're exposing this dude's stuff. You got receipts, you got all of this stuff. And it's crazy how the world's initial reaction is not to say, oh, he's a victim, but more so to laugh at his pain. And states have laws against this kind of stuff when it comes to leaking out my information, leaking out, the things that we've done and all of this. But it's just crazy how our initial reaction was to clown this kid who, at 23 years old, yeah, he's a millionaire. He had to be panicking. You know what I'm saying? And he got this new girl pregnant. You know what I mean? Cats is even shitting on her, shitting on her sex work past and everything. And he's just sitting here trying to be doing the right thing, trying to start a family, and this troll coming on internet just bullying him, bringing up all of this shit. That shit's kind of foul. It's kind of foul. He's kind of the victim here.
I don't think that you're necessarily wrong, right? And at the same time, I don't think that the people that was clowning him are necessarily wrong either, right? And the reason why I say that is it's kind of for what I said last week when we talked about this, is that when you look at Zion's conversation with her through the text messages that were leaked, right? He seems like that guy who goes to the strip club and thinks that the strippers actually him. You know what I mean? And I think
that's terrible.
No,
That's
but I'm
terrible.
saying, like, I get your point of saying
That's
like
the
he's
same.
young.
They make ABC specials for these women that meet the guy online, Marco, and now they've given him 40,000, and he's ran off, and then they find out he's Zubair from Dubai, and they make these specials and about these women that give these dudes credit card after credit card after credit card, never seen where he came from, nothing's believable. They make these specials, and just because this dude is a big sap.
I saw it on Netflix. The Twinder swindler, whatever it was called.
Exactly. I
Tinder
mean, nobody.
swindler.
I mean, people call them idiots. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
I saw a video that Kobe put up years ago, or was recorded in, where he said people that want to be great practice 2 to 3 hours a day. He said the average person that wants to do something, that wants to play a sport or do something, they probably do 2 hours a week, maybe 3 hours a week. He said if you want to be great and you want to be amazing, you 2 to 3 hours a day. Now follow where I'm going. Zion Williamson was an absolute stud, an absolute star coming out of Duke, coming out of high school. Like, this kid obviously spent his day on the court every single day to be as great as he is. On top of that, his family probably kept him away.
Sheltered.
Sheltered was the word I'm looking for. Thanks, VP. Sheltered him from reality. Sheltered him from anything. He probably didn't, forgive the language, he probably ain't bust his first nut until he hit the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Or Duke. Like, he was probably sheltered that much from a small town, Salisbury, North Carolina. Went to a little, I think it was a Christian school. I could be wrong, but a small or high school in South Carolina. Like, this guy doesn't know. He doesn't know. So to EJ's point, he was preyed on. They saw this guy coming, no question. You show up to the draft in what you're wearing, like, you show up in videos and interviews and what you're wearing. You're on the sideline for half the season in what you're wearing. You got on fucking joggers with a button up. Like, you got the Tim Duncan outfits. I'm sure people went after Tim Duncan, and he was just smart enough to kind of, look away, look the other way. But Zion Williamson was absolutely preyed on. And knowing that this guy was a number one pick, top guy, lots of money, franchise guy in New Orleans, and he landed with a porn star with a botched body job. Like he was absolutely, there's no way he chose that. You know what I'm saying? Like she probably sent him the nudies ASAP. Like she probably was in his DMs daily. Hey, check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Hey, watch how far this goes. Like this is the type of thing. And eventually a man is gonna be a man. You sitting there one day, she maybe finds out, she looks at the schedule, she can get a ticket to a city where she's at, or maybe in her city, and he's there, and she sends him something in the DM and is like, yo, I know you're not playing today. If you need to get your mind off of something, check this out. You know what I'm saying? And Zion fell into it. And then it was good. It was probably good, something that he was not used to. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have a lot of experience in this. So you could tell this guy is not the guy that was out there smashing balls. He was not like a dude like Carmelo, who was known for, through college, through the years, was with some baddies and stuff. Like this guy is just learning. And so yeah, now she's trying to play the old, oh well, he's ruined my life and my career, and this is what you did to me, trying to get the lawsuit, play the lawsuit role. Like it's a mess, man. Like I agree with you, EJ. He is the victim in this, but he's also a dumbass. Like he's a dummy. Like all the baddies in this world, like that is not. She's probably not even my top 1,000 if I was a millionaire. Matter of fact, she's not in my top 1,000, and I'm not even a half a millionaire today. Like she's not in my top 1,000 today.
Yeah, and like I agree with EJ's point, right? Zion is definitely a victim, but like Steve said, he's a victim, but he's also a dumbass. You know what I mean? Like both things can be true. You know what I'm saying? If you send money to a Nigerian prince, you're a victim, but you're also a dumbass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I kind of feel bad for him, but I do also agree with EJ, if the shoe was on the other foot, you know, um
Society
and
be killing them.
and they would absolutely be killing the man that's coming for the woman. If it was Sue Bird, right? If it was Sue Bird and it was a dude that came out and was like, "Oh, Sue, you was sucking me off," like they would kill this dude. She would not be. Nobody would be making fun of her. Nobody would be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe Sue was out there paying." Like, you know what I'm saying? Same thing. It's just I said the same thing about and we know it would never happen, but what's your boy's name? VP that got caught in the in the scandal down in Miami in the hotel.
Oh,
Oh,
Gillum.
Gillum?
Yeah. So I said the same thing about Andrew Gillum. If Andrew Gillum was a woman and it was, the other on the other foot, they wouldn't have killed the woman as much as they killed Andrew Gillum. Like that's the world we live. We've been talking double standards since we started, EJ. Like, you know,
Well, because that Andrew Gillum thing minus the drugs, something like that actually happened to I can't remember her name now, but it was a woman, a California
You can't
congresswoman.
remember her name though. That's also a key factor.
Like, I mean, she was a brand new, like, first term congresswoman. This thing happened, and then she resigned.
I
She
mean,
was only in Congress for like
this
6
dude
months.
was Gillum even in office in anything when this happened?
No,
Here we go.
he had just lost, didn't he?
yeah,
Short
There you
time
go.
prior. But yeah, so I mean, hopefully, I think Zion will live through this. He'll get through it, But it's a shadow, it's a damper on his name, and it's something that now every time you search Zion Williamson, regardless of what he does for the rest of his life, the rest of his career,
yeah.
it's going to show up. And so that's one of the things where we always commend LeBron James, and I still commend LeBron James for it. Like his off court is A1, unmatched, untouched. This dude never gets into anything, and you got to give it to him for that.
But I think also part of the problem with the Zion Williamson situation on why, like to EJ's point about like if this was a woman, if this was reversed, right? I think part of the issue for him too is that it's not just that he's a guy and this woman is saying these things. It's because she's a porn star. You know what I'm saying? I'm using star loosely, but
Right. Right.
but
She's
I
a porn
think that
name.
right. I think that is part of the issue is that because I think if this was just like some random he met at a club that was shaming him, one, it wouldn't have that much reach to begin with, right? And then two, because of the nature of the situation, like a random off the street might, or not, I mean, not off the street, but like that he met on a club or something like that, might not put as much of the detail out there. Whereas, this is a porn star. I was telling a friend of mine, right, who's a female. She was like, I can't believe like she's saying all this stuff. I'm like, this lady has sex on camera. You know what I mean? Like so it's not like she's embarrassed.
Yo,
You know what I mean?
if you're a basketball player and you eat in somebody's butthole, get an NDA. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I say it week to week. I don't know why these guys don't get NDAs. I say it week to week. But he was definitely a victim, man. He's definitely a victim. She's much older than him. I mean, it's cyberbullying, the whole thing. But if his team is smart, they would get on her
These
about that.
dudes are so some of these dudes are
But
so
that's the thing, though.
stupid.
If you get on her, you make it go longer, right? And I think what he's thinking is she'll have her 15 minutes of fame, and then we're gonna move on.
Oh, he gonna
Yeah.
pay
I
her.
mean,
He gonna pay
Yeah.
her.
That
He gonna
candle,
pay
that
her.
no,
candle,
no, I
that
wouldn't.
candle.
I wouldn't do that.
I
He
wouldn't
gonna
pay
pay
her,
her
but that
because he
candle.
already sent her the message like, "Yo, chill. I got you. Just chill. Why are you doing this? Like, chill."
Nah, I don't got you. A matter of fact, I
Yeah.
do got you. I'm gonna get. Well, he don't even know that, and that's the thing. He don't know that. If it was somebody else, I'm gonna call my cousin them. Like, yo, go find her. Beat her ass. Beat her ass. Like, let her know. But he don't even got that. He don't know. He
I
don't know about
mean,
that.
yeah, because like for me, I feel like I would be the type of person in that situation. And again, we don't. I'm basing how I would feel about it, how I am now, but assuming I had the money. But like I would want all the smoke because, like EJ said, I'd be in court, defamation.
Hmm.
Or even if I lose, you know what I
I'm
mean? Like
surprised.
this,
I'm surprised they haven't sent a cease and desist to her.
right? I'm sending a cease and desist, and then the next time something happens, we're going to court.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, on top of it, right? Like, I'm trying to start my life with some, and maybe he wasn't. Like, maybe this chick just ended up pregnant. Like, I get that they were doing a thing, but we know how our culture works. Like, we live together before we're married. We have kids together before we even consider marriage. We have kids before we're even in a relationship. Like, that's
Is
the
the other
norm.
chick in the industry too? The
She was a
pregnant one.
stripper. She was a stripper.
Yeah, she was a stripper for a long
So he
time, but
has a
she's
type.
yeah. Well, we all
I
have a
mean,
type.
hey, we don't shame the sex workers, right? I
I
mean,
don't, but I'm
it
just
is what
Well,
it is.
nonetheless, if they can, most of the women that men are overly attracted to, and if you have that kind of money that you have reached to, would resemble that type, right? Whether
right,
they are or are not in that job, they probably resemble it. And she's not currently a stripper, so
right. But so this is what my thing would be. If I had that kind of money, right? If I met somebody who's a stripper, I think my guard would be up automatic to think this person's going to like me. Money. You know what I'm
But
saying?
but the sex workers are good
wow.
people.
You hear
They're
how
good
you
I'm
people,
not
sound right
saying they're
man.
now?
not good people.
Do you hear how you sound right
I'm.
now?
He
It
sounds
is what it
Oh
bad.
is.
my
He
god.
sounds like he's shaming the sex workers.
No, it sounds like I
He's
live in
not
reality.
shaming. He's saying that you can't trust strippers or sex workers.
That's not what I
That
said.
you
That's what
just
it
said.
sounds like.
You
I
said
didn't
if
say you
you
can't
He said my
trust them.
guard
I
would be
said
up.
my guard would be up
That means you don't trust them.
don't
because
trust.
because when you're at that level, your guard has to be up regardless of any person that you meet having some type of uh uh
Motive.
um some kind of motive in
Yeah.
getting into your circle. You know what I'm saying? This is anybody. Like, let me ask you this, Steve. Let me flip it. Let's take strippers out of it, right? Do you think real estate billionaire Harlan Crow becoming friends with Clarence Thomas 2 years after he got on the Supreme Court, there wasn't a motive there? You think he flies him on those $500,000 vacations just because he's a good guy?
I mean, I think that's totally different because they're not having sex, but
No, take the sex out of it. The point I'm making is that this
that's a
dude
business
entered Clarence
relationship.
Thomas's life there was a motive behind it.
It is a
You know
business
what I'm saying?
relationship.
Right. But so that's what I'm saying. So if I meet somebody who is a stripper, sex worker, whatever, and I'm rich as shit, and they've engineered their way into my space, I have to assume that there's some kind of motive that's going to potentially turn into a business relationship. So I would be wary of that before I started dating them. If
But not if
even if it wasn't somebody on like if I met a chick at Walmart and I'm rich, I mean I wouldn't be at Walmart, but you get the point. At I don't know where
Yeah,
rich people shop.
yeah.
Publix. I would have to
hold
assume
on. But I
that
don't.
once she Googled,
But you didn't say this about the English teacher when it was Chelsea. Was her name Chelsea?
Mackenzie,
Mackenzie.
Basically.
she's
Same
a
difference.
science teacher.
All right, same difference. He swindled his way in there. Like, listen,
No, my first question was from the beginning was, yo, how did they meet?
Mhm.
I just couldn't, I always thought it was like a setup, not a setup like a bad thing, but
see,
like, hey, I got
I
this
think
guy you should meet, like a friend of a friend kind of thing. Because I don't understand how a billionaire meets a guy who's a science teacher. It's like I don't understand where it is they share the same space.
this is where you need friends, like real friends that are gonna tell you, like, yo, nah, that's not the one. Like, dog, you're a cornball. Like, no one has ever told Zion Williamson that he's a cornball. So he didn't know he's a cornball. So he doesn't know that he didn't know he was being preyed on.
He
He
He's a
probably
figured,
mark.
got friends, Steve, but he was on his Bill Weathers shit.
He was a mark.
You know what
yeah,
I'm talking
he got taken advantage of.
about?
She
He was on that Bill Weathers got that song "Use Me" where he says, "If it feels
Till
this
you
good, get
use me
used,
up.
then baby use me up."
He was a mark, man. He's a victim. I stand with Zion.
Zion, yeah, man. Zion needs better friends.
I am about to get traded.
He needs something. He needed. I don't know. I don't know, but it's not looking good in these streets for him. His two. He's 0 for 2 with his two choices. Even the ex stripper wouldn't have been my choice. Not to bear my loin.
Right.
Like she ain't it, bro.
And it's like this information is out there, right? Like what was that show? Loving Basketball? I think not Loving. That's the movie. The one that's like Loving Hip Hop, but with the basketball women.
Basketball wives.
There you go. Shawnee's show actually. That's Steve brought Shawnee up earlier, or it might have been EJ. I don't remember. But yeah, like basketball wives exist. Like look at a chick who was on there who used to Dwight Howard's baby mama. You know what I mean? Like you have to assume that when you're at that level with that kind of money, with what we see in our media, that when you come across somebody like that, there is a motive. This person is looking to get in. They're looking to get pregnant. It's not like just last season we didn't find out about old boy in Charlotte with wasn't
PJ.
it Brittany
Yeah. Yeah.
Renner?
PJ Washington and Brittany.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like come on,
He's
man.
also in the same draft class as Zion and John Morant. That class
Come
is
on, bro.
up, bro.
Come
But
on, yo.
again, we can't have the double standard of one time saying he should have known better, and then when he treats them like shit because he doesn't believe they're gonna be anything, we get mad at him. Like, no, this guy, he went on good faith. He said, "Hey, I don't care that you're a sex worker. I'm gonna invest in you and believe in you." And now she
I'm
is
not eating no porn star's
Protecting.
butthole, yo. I'm not doing that. I am not eating a porn star's ass. Like, I'm not if you do sex work for a living, my mouth is not going anywhere near anywhere your nethers. Like, that's not happening. Especially if I'm the millionaire. Like, if I'm the prize, yo, Zion is crazy. Zion is
uh,
crazy. He need to spend some time with Shaq. He need to go hang out with some of these guys because
he's a
he is
victim, man.
wilding. He is
He's a victim.
wilding. He's
He's a
out of
victim.
control, man. Oh man, poor Zion, man. What else we got? What else we got on the docket?
Really quickly, we got our girl Aisha Curry out here wilding again, according to some.
What's he do?
I mean, not really a lot, but she was joking
She
on
did
seemingly
enough.
the View or one of those shows when they had like a bare chested dude bringing them drinks and stuff. She was kind of flirting with the idea that she was going to take her ring off to kind of like mess with the dude. Like, so a lot of people were calling her, not a lot of people, some people were calling her the worst NBA wife ever because she was just like acting so thirsty around this dude on national TV. I mean, it's not really much, but here she goes again and doing something wild.
So I didn't see it, right, but this is what I'll say. Like it sounds like what you're saying is like she essentially is acting like a woman would normally act, like they were like at a bachelorette party or something. You know what I mean? Which I guess is nothing
On
wrong with
daytime
that.
TV.
But the problem is that it's not at a
Wait,
bachelorette party with your
you allow
homegirls.
you allow your women to go to bachelor? No, let me stop.
But it's one thing like if she was at a bachelorette party with the homegirls and like that's it. But you're on you're not even just on national TV. You're on The View, which is
Yeah.
like one of the most popular daytime television shows,
Hmm.
and you're doing this kind of, you know what I mean? But I mean, I,
She stay embarrassing this dude
yeah, I
though.
think it's because it's her. Like, I think if it
Like,
was another woman, like nobody would really say much, even if like the person
Hmm.
was married or whatever. But because she has
Hmm.
a history of this kind of stuff, it kind of seems like, what the hell's going on with that relationship?
Steph Curry he must be a cornball too. Like, she must wear the pants. Like, there's no question. She wears the pants in the relationship. She stay making this dude look crazy. And he probably didn't sign a prenup. That's the thing. Because now they got what, 3 kids together, 3 girls? I think they got 3 kids
Hmm.
together. Like, and so he knows if he goes, so does that money. Cheaper to keep her, if you will. So I think she just be out there. What was it last time? Last time she was like,
She
she
Red
was saying
table talk.
she feels down sometimes because enough men don't be thirst trapping after
right, because dudes ain't thirsty.
her.
You crazy? You need to go talk to Vanessa Bryant. Rest in peace, Kobe. But you need to go talk to Vanessa. You better act like you know there don't be broads all over the hotel rooms when they get on the road. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, man, Steph needed listen. No, she'd be gone if she was mine. Check your video, VP. I sent it to you in the chat. But listen, don't have me looking stupid on daytime TV. First, I just lost in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? People talking about, is my career starting to end? I'm 32, 33 years old. I mean, it's okay to mute yourself.
Sorry, I thought it was
He's
gonna
so
play through my headphones. I
he's
didn't
so
realize it was gonna switch
disrespectful.
the audio.
Um, but don't have me out here looking crazy. Like, she, and really, when you watch the video, when you see the video, it's not that bad. I think the key is, like EJ said, it's always something with her, yo.
And
Like, it's
she
always
was being super thirsty. She was being extra over the top. And when you look at those actions while you do, it's just like anybody, right? You could be a married dude, and when you're out with your homeboys, oh, hubba hubba, all of this craziness, right? But when you're on daytime TV, it's like, do you remember that you're married to Steph Curry? Like, do you remember? You know what I mean? Like, what's like, and people are human and they have natural reactions or whatever, but there is still an image that you have to maintain. And I don't know that Steph feels some kind of way, but it's just always something with her.
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, maybe I just looked at the clip, as we heard, but it actually wasn't the view. It was on that show, the chat, and maybe she thought it wasn't going to get that much viewership.
Right.
Like,
You
go ahead.
know, I don't think it's as bad if she. I don't even think it would have been as badly accepted if she had just like turned to one of them and been like, well, like, oh girl, like. But
Mhm.
it was the whole gesture of removing her ring, and like, I
I
think
mean,
that's
she
what
was
made
going
it
hard
funny.
with it. She was like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
she's
come on, yo, you being thirsty. Like,
do better, Aisha.
and the dude looked like he was gay anyway. He was just like, you're welcome. Like, like, he don't
Do
want
better,
you. Like, he don't want you. Like,
Aisha got to do better, man.
yeah, just stop it. Stop
so
the
You can't.
are
nonsense.
you
Maybe she thought because Steph didn't win this year that there wouldn't be any scrutiny. Why is she being interviewed anyway?
I so it was my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong. I thought she was like a celebrity chef at one point, or trying to be.
No, no,
No, okay.
no. She just got
Celebrity chef.
acclaimed for being a house mom that does
She didn't do
stuff.
nothing with cooking.
She
Like,
she tried to start a show. She tried to start a
She was
show.
okay,
trying to.
like I thought there was some kind of food thing with her at one point.
She was a home self-made
You
acclaimed
making
cook, but
you
she
making
wasn't no
Costco hors
5 star.
d'oeuvres. You not,
She wasn't out here no Iron Chef in it or nothing. Nah.
No, I knew she wasn't like no like real like, but I thought it was so she was like one of those like cooking with Babish kind of people, like you cooking on the internet and try to turn it into a thing kind of thing. Okay,
yeah. Then she rebranded herself. I mean, don't get me wrong. She dropped a bunch of weight before when she was feeling like she wasn't being thirst trapped, which is crazy. Um, like, be comfortable with yourself. Like, it just seems like she's not comfortable with herself or with the choices that she made.
so
In life.
let me ask y'all this. because you obviously already know how I feel about it when I ask the question. But are y'all putting her in?
No, nope, no. I don't even need to hear the end of it, but I
I
know
don't
where
know
you're going.
who. I don't know what's going on. Ooh, what?
Go ahead. Finish your question.
I was asking if y'all was put her in Jada Pickett's corner.
Oh, like put her in the same.
Maybe I thought you were gonna ask something else. I
Oh,
would say yes. It
I
all
would say
started with
yeah,
the red table. She's probably
yeah.
being coached by that bald headed thing. That's what's happening. She's like she calling her. This is her life coach, Jada.
oh my
Jada, what should I do when I go on this show? Hey girl, if there's a topless dude, make it known that you believe this man. Like this is crazy. Hey, I know your kids are young, but this do you have any high school kids, maybe 18, 19 in the neighborhood that you might could sleep with? Like this the type of shit. She crazy, yo.
wow.
She's being bred.
Yeah,
This is breeding.
she might be in that realm. I mean, the only difference is
She's
somebody
not
just
as
ain't get
bad as
slapped
Jada,
yet.
but yeah.
The only difference is somebody just ain't get slapped yet.
And right, and we only see what we see. Who knows what more is happening, you know? But I give it. You listen, man. Steph look happy. Anytime they together, he don't never look upset. He's not making those videos like like the Will Smith, like yo, I
Crying.
need my mental health. Like this man is killing me. We haven't heard anything bad about it, so it's possible that maybe she do the do and lets him do his do.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
VP expected was happening in the Smith household. And we maybe just don't hear about it because Steph is not dumb like Zion, and he gets the NDAs when he be out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or he does it in Europe. If I was a basketball player, oh my god, if I was an athlete, man, listen, you think I'm dealing? You think I'm dabbling in some Nashville buns? You crazy? Shh. Catch me in Mykonos. Give me a little Greek thing. She can't even tell you what happened, at least in English. You uh still on the NBA, man. Mike Malone is the blackest white dude that we've seen in a long time. I didn't know he was from Queens.
He's
Um
from Queens.
he's from Queens.
I did not
And
know
and
that.
and it shows. And it absolutely
Wow.
shows. Mike Malone was thugging out. He is wilding. He held his chain up for like he black. He is definitely black.
He was like, "We gonna run that shit back."
Mhm.
Yo, I was looking at this dude like, "Who the fuck?" That's
But
He's
he's
talking to the
crazy.
owner there.
huh?
That's what's happening. I say he's talking, and he
Yeah,
keeps talking about
basically.
money because the nut actually over the salary cap. They're in the luxury tax, and they're in the luxury tax now. And so for them to run it back with some of the people who are free agents like MPJ, Michael Porter Jr., they would have to go further into the luxury. I think it's something like it's like close to like $100 million they would get for like the repeater luxury tax since they're already over. And
Mhm.
so the owner basically would have to fork out another. I want to say the number was like 85 million, if I remember correctly, that the owner would have to pay just in luxury tax to the NBA for keeping that team together. But that's why he keeps bringing it, like running it back because he's like, yo, don't tear this thing up. Like we could make something special happen here. And the owner might be like, the way my checking account works,
No, but they said that owner he owns a couple other different things,
Yeah, he owns
and
like four different franchises. He
yeah,
got a Walmart money.
they said he goes above and beyond. So they said
Listen,
he's the type just willing to spend.
Mike Malone was an assistant coach in a school in Baltimore, an assistant coach in a school in Oakland, Providence, Rhode Island. Like there is no question where this guy's got his mannerisms from, and he's from
Mm.
Queens. Um, this guy, I would love to hear some of the interviews with some of the players that he's been close to, just to kind of hear. I don't think we would ever hear a player say anything bad about him, in the sense of his understanding and his relatability, his leadership. He seems like he's always got his guys back. This all started in the playoffs and during the Lakers series. where he was like, "Listen, man, we out here, we about to spank these boys," and you turn on the TV and they talking about is LeBron gonna be able to make history? They're not even talking about us. Like
Yeah.
that's when all of this, his whole little run started, and this dude has been putting on for his team, putting his face in the media, talking that talk so his team don't have to because he don't really got a superstar that will. Jokic is, he's humble, super, super humble. Jamal Murray was kind of not, I don't think he knew that he was a superstar. I think now he knows, but I think he was still questionable after the injury and stuff. Um, but I would love to hear like from some of the guys. He was an assistant coach on the Knicks, Cavs, Hornets, Warriors. I'd love to hear from some of those guys just to hear not only him but some of the other coaches, about the experiences they have with these people, just because we don't ever see them.
I mean, I think also with Mike Malone is that he had the good for not just Mike Malone, the Nuggets overall, good team. Not trying to take away for them, but they also had the fortune of playing against two playing teams, three playing teams, really, if you count the Heat, playing against teams that were banged up, and they went the whole playoffs at full strength. And I think that's part of his running back argument is that we may not be so fortunate next year to go up against teams that are missing bodies,
Mhm.
and I mean, because you look at playoff run, I think the whole playoffs they lost what 3 games,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
only
So
one home game.
yeah, only one home game in 3 games in total. Two on the road and the one home game against the Heat in the finals. So was incredible for the teams they wind up playing or whatever. But next year, that's not guaranteed. I mean, in injuries, you never know who's going to be injured. And instead of you playing teams at full strength, it could be you who's injured next year. And so
Mhm.
I think part of the reason why he's so keen on running it back with this squad if they can. But again, it's going to be up to that owner if he's going to be willing to allow the GM to bring these guys back in order to go into luxury tax, because they have to also consider that from the reports that I've seen, Jamal Murray is actually due for an extension, but he can actually, instead of accepting an extension this year, he could wait and wait until next season to accept an extension,
Try and
because
get the Supermax.
if he makes an All NBA team, then he could be eligible for max like Jaylen Brown.
I think to your point, I think he's talking to ownership, but I think he's also talking to free agents. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, there's no guarantee that they're going to play injured teams. There's no guarantee that they're going to stay healthy. And I don't want to. I don't want to take away from the people they played. They played some playing teams, but they played a LeBron and AD team. Like they were a playing team, but realistically, you're playing one of the greatest players of all times, arguably the best for some people. Some people call LeBron number one. Realistic people call him somewhere between 2 and 5. Then you got AD, who um, you know, who could be a top 10 to 15 big man of all time easily. If you
When
take away his injuries and you just looked at numbers and stats and compared the number of games he's played to any other player in that number of games, he would easily be a top 10 guy as big man. It's just his
Steve,
reliability.
let me pause you real quick, and then I'm going to let you continue. If you say a guy can be top 10, if you just don't look at all this stuff, he's not top 10. So, but continue.
Well, I didn't say all this stuff. I said the one thing, reliability. I mean, but when you talk about raw skill,
So let me put into words what you're saying. This guy could be top 10 if he just played.
well,
Like
when he plays, we said you say the same thing about Tua. Huh?
like yo,
Got him.
this guy
Got
would
him.
be a great this guy would EJ. This guy would be a great chef if he knew how to cook.
Listen, you can't say that.
Hey,
You can't say
VP,
that, Wade.
I don't know. VP's got a
Wade,
point here.
you say that about Tua,
Got
and
a point here.
we've got a good sample size of AD. When he plays, we've seen him win a ring. We've seen him carry teams before he was even with the Lakers. Like AD is a top guy. AD, LeBron are top guys. So I don't want to make it like I've heard people do it, seen people do it all week. Um, and make it seem like Denver had this easy road where they didn't. There's no difference in saying they had an easy road from saying that LeBron's ring was a bubble ring. Like that wasn't an easy road. You know what I'm saying? Those teams were depleted because they were missing people from their team that didn't show up because they didn't want to go into the bubble. Like we can't do that. We can't. You
I mean, I
can't.
don't like the bubble argument. Like, I think like discounting the bubble season is, I don't like it. And I mean, it's easy for people to think I don't like it because the Heat made the finals or whatever. But I think that, you know, I get it that the bubble had um the stuff that you
Advantages.
can kind of take away, where they didn't let all the teams come. You know,
No
it was like,
fame.
oh, if
There's no
huh?
road game. You don't play any road games.
No
Right.
pressure.
I get that, but at the same time, though, this was one of those things that just happened, and the NBA had to figure something out to save their year. I think what they did, what they came up with, was actually a really good solution. We still
Oh, it
got to
was
see
good.
basketball, and we all commented at the time it was some of the best basketball we had actually seen in a while. Like the level of play seemed like these guys were back in college almost. Like they were hooping.
Well,
But
yeah, because every time you look in the stands, you're seeing other players watching you too. You're not just watching, you know what I'm saying? You're seeing if you're playing against it's the Knicks and the Heat, they're seeing Nuggets players that maybe don't play today, don't have shit else to do, so they come watch the game. So you're trying to put on for those guys. But in the bubble, what I'm saying is that season or that situation plays to someone who everyone would always say from the day they started in this league is not mentally tough. You don't have to play on the road. You don't have to deal with fans. You're not dealing with anything, any scrutiny, and that would be the year LeBron James won. So I get it. I don't discount him that ring. You know what I'm saying at all. But I get people that do. And when I'm just comparing it to the Denver argument where people are like, oh, well, they played injured guys. They played, low seeded teams. Like we can't do that. We can't. They Denver
I
went
don't
out
care
there
about the seeding.
and it's not like they barely won. They beat the shit out of y'all. And when I say y'all, I mean the Heat, I mean the Lakers. They beat the shit out of the league in the playoffs. There was nobody that was even close to these guys. And I don't think there's anybody, we said it from the beginning. I don't think there's anybody, maybe the closest would have been a healthy Bucks team that might have been able to give these guys a tough road, but the way Denver looked, it don't look like nobody was beating those guys this year in the playoffs.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I hear what you're saying, and I don't necessarily disagree with that. They did look like it just kind of seemed like it was their year when,
It
when
was
you
in the
look at
Drago.
their
cards.
when you look at their body of work.
Drago.
But yeah, but
They were
I
healthy.
just I do think that, not I don't want to say they had an easy road, I guess is what I'm saying. But I think you have to account for the fact that, and I say this, you play the teams at their own schedule. You know what I mean? And so the teams that were on their schedule were teams that were depleted in some way or another. And so
EJ, EJ, do we take the playoff Jimmy title away and give it to playoff Murray now?
I've been did that. Well, I never
yeah, I
really
think I
gave
think you have
Jimmy
to.
his flowers anyway because he's a
Playoff
Heat, but
Maul?
Jamal Murray, I mean, even in the bubble and then in this playoffs, dude averaged damn near 30 points a game the whole time. So pretty amazing stuff to me,
We
especially when you have such a good player offensively in Jokic.
Jokic.
Yeah.
Yep.
I,
And then one of the things too that you have to, I think, that helped Murray, and this didn't really get a lot of talk in my opinion, like on sports radio and things like that. When you look at, Jimmy versus Jamal Murray in the
mhm.
playoffs, is that Jimmy was out there guarding Jamal Murray, right? Jimmy's going to give it to, he plays both ways. And then I think that made him struggle on the offensive side, whereas Murray wasn't playing defense on Jimmy. Murray was out there playing
Oh,
defense
he
on like
did.
Duncan Robinson. No, he
He
did at
did.
times, but when
He
he
did.
did, it was mostly when the Heat would run switches to get Murray on Jimmy, because they knew that he wasn't as good a defender to guard Jimmy. But so I think that kind of hurt Jimmy as well. But it is what it is. They won, man. Congratulations to them. Yeah, I'm hoping we do what we need to do to try to get back there. But
Let me ask you oh, there was a question but I lost it. Go ahead, EJ.
Oh, no, I was just gonna mention two watch this space moments. One is gonna need some full detail. Maybe both might, but two watch this space moments.
mm,
Conor McGregor allegedly raping a woman in Miami's arena. We have little shots supposedly of him and the alleged victim, but still not a lot out on it. But the other one is the Supreme Court and everything that's going on with them. Kind of watch the space kind of moments. So yeah, watch the space. We're gonna see what happens with that. But I wanted to bring up, Steve, you said something earlier about sending cousins to a female's house. And I don't know if you guys have been on
Sending end.
the no on the I don't know if you guys have been on things, but
Oh, I know you
Travis
don't.
Rudolph, former Florida State football player, murdered a guy, all because his girlfriend at the time basically cried wolf and sent her brother and his friends over to his house, where his mom and brother lived. He was recently, cleared of any charges. Um, Man, I saw this dude's life and how he lost his father to gun violence, his injuries, everything that happened. And, this kid has been through a lot. And it was sad to see that, he had to take someone's life because this girl wanted to lie. She didn't, she was upset about him cheating. Just pretty sad stuff, man. Pretty sad stuff. So,
Well, I think with for the Travis Rudolph story. First of all, the Heat is a nasty organization for letting Conor McGregor get off what is being alleged, if that's what happened. Um, but let's
Wow.
get back. But I mean, as that unfolds, before I reply to the Rudolph thing, um, videos come out of the girl hanging out with Conor McGregor later that evening after what allegedly happened. So, um, we'll see. Like you said, EJ, watch the space. But that team that found all that stuff, that's who Jonathan Majors needed. Because poor Jonathan. But yeah, so Travis Rudolph, for those who don't know the story, basically EJ gave the Cliff Notes version. Dating a girl gets upset, but there was a phone call that which really helped this guy, of her calling those guys, her brothers or whatever, and saying, "Yo, um, I think it was something like get the hammers or something, get the
she sent
hammers or get
she
the
sent them a
guns."
text saying shoot
I was
his
gonna
shit
say I
up.
thought it was a text message.
Yeah, she sent this a text saying shoot his shit up. Literally.
Well, there you go. And so then in the court, I guess whatever you call it, cross sectioning, cross
Cross
witness
Cross
examination.
examination.
cross examination. She says, "Oh,
Cross
what
section.
I didn't mean for I didn't mean for anybody for them to shoot anyone and kill anyone or
New York
harm
Times
anyone."
Sunday crossword puzzle.
Listen, man.
The
Listen,
cross section.
listen, niggas is tired, all right? I'm tired. Some of us actually work around here.
Said cross section.
Um, but she came out and says, when she
Shoot his
said that,
shit up.
she didn't mean for them to shoot him. She didn't mean for them to hurt anyone,
I'll
and
just
that's
shoot
not what
the
she
house.
meant. Yeah, just shoot the house. But nonetheless, the gentleman got to his house. They were armed. Travis Rudolph, ex football player, was forced to defend himself, and he was freed of any charges in
And
court
yeah.
for self defense.
And so
So
to get the detail and the context right, because when you think about it and you hear it from a distance, you kind of don't understand how he even got to shooting these guys, right? Because what happens is you find out that he dumped like 39 rounds into the Cadillac and hit one guy who was critically injured, the other one who passed away. So it's like when you hear it, it's like, well, they were leaving, right? They were in the car. Excuse me, no. He details the story in that these guys came to the house, you know what I'm saying? He steps outside to try to talk to the brother, and before he can even say anything, the brother just takes off on him, bang, knocks him down, whatever. And so he's like, it's coordinated. The other dudes just jumped in. And it's like They done this before. They jumped me, started jumping me. My little brother tries to help. And then the other thing that was crazy about it, his mom comes out, tries to intervene. She's smart enough not to get close enough, but she's kind of trying to talk to them while he's getting assaulted. All the while in the back of his mind, right? In the back of her mind, his father was killed by someone he worked with, just shot and killed at work, supposedly. So they have that in the back of their mind. So supposedly at some point they stop jumping on this dude, and instead of just leaving, they go to the car, to which at that point a gun was brandished, and I think this is when Rudolph lets off 40 shots into the car, which this is a wild story, because all because of this young lady, got out of herself, physically assaulted this guy, let's not forget, and then decides to tell her family members to come shoot this guy's house up where his mother lives, his brother lives. You're close to the family. It's a really nasty story, and I hope that young lady gets charged with something.
Yeah, I don't think that I'm sure she'll be held accountable. I guess that's another watch this space type situation. But we see this all the time. We see this all the time. This is an age old. This is my play cousin or my real cousin or my real brother. I'm gonna go get my brother. He gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna go get my sister. She gonna beat your ass. And I've been in situations like this a few times where I was the sender. Never really the receiver. I'm a good dude. I never was that kind of guy but um but yeah, man, like it's in our culture. Like it's always been that way. This is the original. But now, you got to be. We're in a different day, and to VP's point, the world is turning into the wild, wild west. And if I'm not mistaken, that happened in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Check that.
It is.
And then in Florida, of course, we got laws changing. It's a Republican state. Guns are all over the place. You can walk up into a Walmart and walk out with a long gun. You can walk into a gun show and walk out, out of a gun store 3 days later with, three, four, five, six guns, as long as you don't have a felony or, you know,
Pending charges.
restraining order or anything like that, right?
Mhm.
So it's all over the place. So now people got to be a little more careful with that stuff. People don't fight no more, yo. People don't fight no more. People are too worried about going viral, showing up on Instagram, getting their ass beat. Like if people would just come to terms with, yo, you gonna get beat up, you're gonna get punched in the face, and you're gonna live through it. It's gonna heal. Your ego will be fine. Like, and we got back to that. I think we would see a lot less of this. But I think
And
everyone
it's
is
gonna
so
build some
worried
care.
about that reach. Yeah, it's gonna build character, man.
Yeah.
Cops too, right? We're seeing that. I think that's partially the problem with cops too. Cops don't think that they're going to be able to take an ass whooping and get back on the street. No, you take that ass whooping and get back on the street. You don't got to lose. You don't got to decide. Oh, this he might beat my ass, so I need to kill him right here in cold blood. Like it's our
Yeah,
society's
that
fucked.
that whole situation is foul, man. Like the TJ's point, like hopefully she faces charges. Um, yeah, this shit is just foul. This shit is
It's
foul.
really bad. It's a really bad story. And when you look at the trauma he's been through, Dalvin Cook is his best friend. And when his father was killed, it was so bad. His mother didn't even tell him. She told Dalvin Cook, who then told him. And it's like he had a promising career, ACL injury after injury, you know, and then this shit happened, right when he was trying to bounce back and he was about to play Canadian football. It's just nasty, man. It's a really, really sad story.
He
Really,
was a
really.
tight end, right?
No, wide receiver.
Wide receiver. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
really,
man.
really sad story.
Listen, man. Y'all gonna stop playing with people. Like if I'm gonna see you, I'm probably not gonna see you at your house because, like, if you come to my house, oh my god, it'd be similar. It's likely gonna be like I don't understand how people think logically that it's okay to go to somebody's house, whether they have a family there or not. Like they're protecting stuff. Like this is my personal space. Once you come here and you've invaded, I have no choice but to do what I have to do to keep myself and my family safe. Like if you gonna see me in the street, you probably safer there. Don't see me
Yeah,
here.
and they already whooped his ass. That was the thing about it. They were already
And that,
whooping his ass in
and
front
that.
of his mother. In front of his mother. Like, how low can you be to send goons to a dude's house? You know what I mean?
And in
Right.
Florida, that's enough for him to shoot. Even if they
Yeah.
didn't get the gun,
Yeah.
them beating his ass, that's enough for him to shoot.
Stand your
Yeah.
ground, right? We seen it. We seen it work in Mr. Zimmerman's favor, right?
Mhm.
I mean, it's just it's a truly nasty story, man. And I hope that brother can overcome his demons that have been possibly created by this, because it's just nasty, man. Nobody should have to live like that.
Yeah, and even for the guys, like the perpetrators or whatever, like it's one thing if your sister, your cousin comes to you and it's like, yo, this dude is abusing me, like he's putting
Hmm.
hands on me, whatever, and you're like, all right, I gotta go see him. You know what I'm saying? But like, oh, this guy cheated on me. It's like, you pick better dudes. You know what I mean? Like, why am I gonna go beat up your boyfriend because he cheated on you? Like,
And you
that's just
probably
a
gonna get
relationship,
back with him.
right?
Cheat
Those are
back,
just
home.
relationship. Those are like general relationship problems. Or that's not like like the brother needs your brother, cousin, whoever needs to step in and like whoop somebody's ass situation.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Physical abuse is something different. When you talk about just that, I mean that's bad too, but it's not enough. I wouldn't engage over that. Like he cheated on you, all right, well leave him.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
You want me to go help you pack? Like, you know what I
Right,
mean? But
it's simple. Is he holding your stuff hostage? You need me to go over there and get it? Like that stuff, I get, you, I got you. But he cheated
and
on you, you
and
good.
and that's the other thing. They already whooped, like, and then you sent him to a house where his mother lives. He was like, he's just saying, like, he was crying about it. Since his father's death, his mother can't even sleep at night, and this girl knows the family, like she's close to the mom. So it's just like, at this point, you have no regard for me. You have no respect for my family. At some point, and I've seen this real time with cats I know. These women sometimes just show no regard for guys, and this is just bad. It's a truly, truly sad story, man. Truly
yeah.
sad story.
Yeah, you laying down if you come to my house.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What y'all been watching, man?
Ah,
Oh, well, go ahead.
Benji's.
Since we on some hood shit, EJ, tell us about your hood show. you and your hot
Hood
fries
show.
or whatever.
Cheetos.
No, it's not a hood show, man.
No, the show's not hood, but the snack is ratch.
Oh yeah, well,
What is it,
flaming
like
hot
Cheetos or
Cheetos.
something like
Yeah, it's a movie on FX called Flaming Hot. It's supposedly surrounding the Mexican guy who influenced or created Flaming Hot Cheetos, working at a
that? Oh,
Frito
damn, I
Lay.
was just joking. I didn't know that was real.
Yeah, no, 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 yeah. Working the guy works at he worked at Frito Lay uh factory as a janitor, just got the job like out of nowhere. And the company PepsiCo is like tanking. They can't figure out what to do. And essentially he came up with, a way to save the company. Some people debate whether he actually created Cheetos, Flaming Hot Cheetos, or whatever. But the movie, Eva Longoria did the movie. The
Mm.
movie's phenomenal, man. Like, it's a story that every black and brown person should see. It's about perseverance. It taps into a lot of different things. I mean, as a father, just relationships. I was really blown away at how good this movie was with the acting, the plot, everything. I think is gonna be a movie of the year candidate. And if it isn't, I would be extremely shocked. I'm serious. I'm serious. You gotta
On
watch it
BT.
on BT. Huh?
Yeah, flaming
Right.
hot.
It
Toward.
n- no, 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 no. I really I'm serious. I really
No,
think
I get your point, but I'm just saying,
Is it a
I just
is it a
don't.
movie or a documentary?
it's a movie. It's a movie. It's a FX. It's on FX Hulu. Eva Longoria put it together. I think it's one of those good ones that if you guys watch it, it's one of them joints you don't expect to be good, but it's phenomenal.
Let
It's
me
one
You
of
put it
them
on my
joints.
crazy.
list.
You crazy, EJ.
Hey, okay. I mean, I rarely say things like that. So
What made you watch it? How'd you catch
When
it?
you said
You
DC
just
movies,
scrolling, or somebody told you about it?
I don't know what VP what petty shit he just said, but
yeah, I said you say the same stuff about DC movies, so
no, I
it's not
didn't.
like you batting 1,000 here.
No, I never said one of those movies was movie of the year. I never said that. But no,
How'd you come across
it was on my radar already, and then just last night I was trying to do some work, some studying type stuff, and I was just like, all right, let me watch this joint, and I put it on there, and I was like, oh, this shit is like, I thought it was just gonna be goofy all the way and just stupid, and I was like, oh, this is a kind of like tapping into some stuff. So I was like, let me actually sit down and watch it, and it wasn't
it?
bad. It wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. I mean, I think it could. I think it definitely should be considered as one of the better movies that I've seen. I mean, obviously, A Man Called Otto was probably one of the ones that is going to be up there too. I haven't watched it yet, but based on what VP was saying, I could see that one being up there as well. But I think it definitely should be considered. Especially with all of the movies that are coming out, this year being action and comic related and not really having a lot of depth to them. Lot of depth to them, but this one, it was pretty good, man. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I just added it to my list, so I'll definitely be checking that out, man.
I IMDb'd it this morning after you mentioned it on in the chat, which is kind of why I knew it was about flaming hot Cheetos.
Uh,
Um, uh, but I'll check it out. I'll give it a whirl.
Yeah,
Were you
especially
were you tipsy
especially
at
being
all when you
fathers.
watched it?
Was that
Oh, it's
who?
okay. So were you tipsy at all when you watched it?
Nah, no. No, man, I'm telling you, like it tapped into a lot of different elements of life, and it just one of those things I wasn't expecting. I was like, oh, okay.
It's on Hulu.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna check it out. That's it. Anything else you've been watching?
It was not. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Just another. I saw this Netflix movie called "I See You." It came out some time ago, and I just never paid it attention. So I
Yep.
watched that. That wasn't bad. And oh, Extraction 2 came out with Liam. Not Liam. One of the
Chris
Hemsworth.
Hemsworth,
Chris.
Chris.
Chris. Right. Yeah.
Thor.
Extraction 2 came out. Thor.
Yeah.
And heavy action. Heavy action. Unbelievable action. It's like one of those 80s action films. That's how it gave me vibes. The 80s action dudes just getting decapitated, and so that shit was tough. So I definitely recommend it. If you like the first one, I'd say it was good. So for
Yeah,
sure.
I liked the first one. The thing for me that I didn't like the first one, and this is stuff that I've let go in other movies, but like I really didn't notice it until John Wick, where like all these things happen to our hero, where it's like this dude should be dead. Like like they fall off a 4-story building and they don't even have a limp. It's like, come on, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and
yeah,
and, and like they just keep making it ridiculous. Like with when Star Lord crashes the plane in Jurassic Park Dominion or Jurassic World, whatever it was, plane crash, not even a scratch. It's like, dude, like, come on now. You know what I'm saying?
That's
it's
Fast and the Furious.
because they
Yeah,
work
like
out.
it's like, yeah. So the first, I haven't seen the second Extraction yet. I'm gonna plan to watch it or whatever, but I saw the first one. I liked the first one, but that was part of what I didn't like about it, was that they had just so many scenes where it's like, yo, this guy should be fucking dead right now. And you know he's barely even like breathing hard. Like it's just
Yeah, the reality factor of it all is kind of, you brought up John Wick. I watched John Wick 4. I was like, yo, this dude killed like 70, like 70 motherfuckers, yo. It was just like, come on,
yeah.
yo.
Like
So
in John
yeah,
Wick 2, this dude gets hit by a car, and he does, like, he gets hit by a car, and like his shin should have been broken, and like he's not even limping. Like it's
yep, yep. I
so
know
yeah,
exactly what you mean. But I guess you kind of just have to put yourself in that reality fantasy box. Like, okay, you're
yeah,
trying to be reality. They're trying to make it like reality, but we know it's not. But yeah, it was a decent watch. It wasn't a bad watch. The action is top notch for sure. The action is
Yeah.
top notch.
If
For
Steven Seagal could do it,
for for me, man, I haven't watched much, man. I told you guys last week I started watching The Mandalorian. I've
Uh,
continued that. One thing I don't like is I just started season 3 of The Mandalorian, and Disney Plus is they with season 3 they've gone full corporation. And what I mean is that at the end, and in season 2 and at the end of it, they essentially introduced the Boba Fett series, and then there are things that happen in the beginning of season 3 that if you didn't watch Boba Fett, you don't get what's happening.
you got to
And
patch them together.
they even do like previously on, and they're showing these previously on scenes, and I'm like, wait, I binge watched this thing, so I remember everything that happened. It's not like I saw it a year ago and I didn't remember this happened, you know. And I'm like, I had to go on Google, and it's like, oh yeah, if you didn't watch Boba Fett, you didn't see such or whatever, you know. And so, like, I hate that. Like, I get that you want us to, you're trying to get eyeballs, you know, but I hate the fact that you're doing these like crossover things that tie into what I'm watching in this series. So if it's a series I don't like, I don't know what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I shouldn't have to watch another series that I'm not interested in to
To
just
know
know
what's
what's
going
happening
on.
in this one series that I am interested in. You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
funny
that's
you said
bullshit.
that because I was watching because I watch YouTube videos explaining a lot of different things about things that I watch. And when I was watching one recently, I was talking about the Ahsoka series that's coming out with our girl Rosario Dawson. Shout out to her. I always love her.
Yeah.
But I forgot that the Boba Fett series existed. Even though I watched it, it stay in my brain. And then I was like, oh shit, I forgot the connection of all three. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it completely.
Yep, they started her same thing with her. They put her character in second season of Mandalorian, and then now she got her own show or whatever, you know. Which I'm fine with using a top show to introduce another show, but don't make it, don't make it to
Dependent.
where the show I'm watching, I don't know what the fuck's happening unless I watch these other shows or whatever, you know.
Right.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I've been watching that, and then Black Mirror came back with a new season, Netflix joint. Um,
I heard
I've
Black
only
Mirror
watched,
is good, man. I
yeah, it's
started it but never got through it.
yeah, with one thing with Black Mirror, well, I'll tell you, you know, you probably heard this. You don't have to watch it in order. It's not connected in
I
any
did
way.
hear that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can start in any season, any episode, because none of them are connected. Um, so yeah, but they started, and it was kind of like this kind of meta episode where Netflix was kind of making fun of themselves with the episode 1 of the new season, and it was crazy, man. But the whole point of Black Mirror, if you don't know, EJ, is that the show kind of talks about like our relationship with technology, and like, but they take it out to its extreme, you know. And so in this particular episode, the lady goes home and she's watching on Black Mirror's version of what Netflix is a streaming service called Streamberry, and it's Netflix music, the little bum when it comes on. Same text is just that they call Streamberry and has an F instead of an N. And her name is Joan, and there's a show called Joan is Awful. And she's like, Joan is Awful. And it's with Salma Hayek, got the same hairstyle as her. And her boyfriend, like, yo, let's watch it. And like everything that's happening in the show is everything that happened to her that day. And she's like, how the fuck do they know this about my life or whatever? And so she ends up getting a lawyer, and the lawyer's like, oh, you know how when you signed the terms of you accepted the terms of service or whatever, it has a clause in here that allows them to like track you on your phone, whatever, and they can hear you through, and then they have an AI that just regenerates whatever you happen, but in a more dramatized way, you know, to make it a drama or whatever. And so she ends up like trying to like get the show shut down, and like, that's kind of like what the episode is about. And they got Salma Hayek in it and shit. So it's mad funny, yo. But it kind of, you know, it's crazy when you think it's kind of making a point of like how we sign up for these services, we agree to these terms without ever reading them. And on hers, it was like on page 60, on page 56, subsection D, it says right here that they can take over your microphone and, you know, recreate your life or whatever, you know. So
Yeah, I missed the first wave of the whole Black Mirror stuff when Anthony Mackie was in it.
mhm.
But
He
I
was only
might
in one
watch it.
episode. He was on, like I told you, like none of them are connected. So it was just every episode has different people. So it's just that for that season of the like he was like I think the most famous person in that
In
season.
that
So that's
season,
why
yeah.
if you click on that season, it shows him like on the title card or whatever. But he was only in one episode of Black Mirror. But
Yeah, I
they've
might
had
watch
him.
it.
They had old boy from Get Out, John Hamm. Selma Hayek was just in this past episode. So they've had a lot of heavy hitters, but they're all just in one episode.
Selma. Oh, what happened to my? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my video. I've been watching Ted Lasso. Watch Ted
I
Lasso,
heard that was good.
I've heard nothing
dude.
but good things.
Dude, I started Ted Lasso when it first started. When Ted Lasso first started, I started it, and I think I watched the first two episodes, and I noticed it. It was a comedy. I thought it was supposed to be a comedy, and since it didn't make me laugh, I was like, I don't know if this is for me. But now that it's ended, I have a way of binging stuff, and I love binging
I
stuff
didn't
that's
know.
30 minute episodes. 30-minute episodes is the best thing in the world. It's best for binging. You get through them quickly. You don't gotta be kidnapped for an hour. Um, but yeah, Ted Lasso is great. I've watched over the last day and a half. I finished the first season and I'm almost done with the second season because they're quick. But it's got a lot of like dad jokes. It's got a lot of playbacks to like 90s hip hop and movies and TV shows. Like the writing on this shit is crazy. Like it is absolutely worth watching. I would put that on your list and put it at the top of your list if it was me. Like now knowing if I knew it was this good, I would have watched it a long time ago.
Mm.
It's amazing. And then the first season just without screwing anything up, it's similar to like Major League. Remember when Major League had the in the movie Major League, when the woman owner of the Indians kind of
One
wanted
of my
them to
favorites.
fail. She wanted the coach to fail and shit. That's kind of how Ted Lasso starts out, and then this guy just goes from Kansas to I think it's Kansas is where they're from, Kansas or Arkansas or some shit.
Mhm.
Uh, over to across the pond, and being across the pond, he just brings this whole different culture to them. So definitely worth watching, man. I would say
How many seasons?
prioritize it. It's 3 seasons, and from everything I've watched, they said that this third season that just ended was the last season. So but I'll be through it. I'll be done with it probably by by next week. I'll be done with it probably by Tuesday. I plan on getting right back to it when we finish recording.
Nice. Yeah, you're the second person that said that. I heard real good things about it. So I have to check it out. Yeah, but definitely, man, you guys check out Flaming Hot. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, it is. I just checked it out, see if it is 3 seasons. Like, they wanted a season 4, but Jason Sudeikis said he was third season would be the final.
Gotcha. Yeah, my shit. I don't know what happened there. I lost video completely on my computer, all that shit. But nonetheless, I think that's all I've been watching now that I can think about it. But I binged the shit out of it yesterday. I started the night before, and I got through about 16 episodes so far. So it's 10 episodes for the first season. Not sure about the second season. It's a feel good show. Actually, I want to go to Richmond. Richmond, London, I guess is where it is.
Mhm.
Richmond, London, UK or whatever. It's like it looks like it's nice. Like when I think London, I think like I won't tell you guys what I think, but I definitely want to go. I definitely want to go across the pond now. So watch it. You guys will like it a lot. Sudeikis does an amazing job, yo. This shout
Yeah,
out to him, man. He is a fucking monster, yo.
yeah.
He
I've liked him
kills
in
this
almost
shit.
anything I've seen him in.
Yeah, he fucking kills this show, man.
He started off on the
God.
Daily Show with Jon Stewart.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. You guys gotta watch it, man. You gotta
Yeah.
watch it. What else we got? Anything else on the docket? Pressing Biden out there saying wild ass shit. This nigga talking about building a train between America and China and shit. Like, bruh, How's this possible? Joe,
Yeah,
your
he's
boy,
old,
your
man.
boy. Oh, he old. He's old. I don't know. We gonna make another 4, dog. By the time we get there, he who knows what he gonna be saying. He just pit bulls wear bow ties. He just gonna be screaming shit out. Come on, Joe. Get us through. Just
Yeah.
get us past the sand.
I've been saying from the beginning, not just like the beginning presidency. I was saying this on the campaign trail, like Joe needs to not speak off the cuff. He needs to stay on the prompter, but also, him being off prompter is what makes him who he is. That's when he gets to be like classic Joe. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's kind of a give and take.
When he goes off prompter and he does like his win one for the Gipper, speeches, the tough act, I think he's pretty good there. It's when he goes off the prompter and he tries to like, I don't know, yo.
It's the problem for Joe is when he goes off prompter and he has to like start putting out like facts, like figures.
There you go.
We did 37%. This hasn't been this good since 1987. Kind of, you know what I mean? We have to start doing stuff like that. It seems like that's when he gets like mixed up. You know what I mean? If he's out there talking about we're fighting for working people, like he's good off the prompter on that kind of stuff. But when he has to start giving out facts and figures and tying in dates and all that kind of thing, like he needs to stick to prompter.
Yeah.
And the thing is, right? Part of the thing is it's all in when you're at that level, trust is a thing, right? And so he has speech writers, right? And one of the things that speech writers do is they come in and they learn your voice. They understand how you speak, and they write speeches. People hear Obama, and a lot of times you see Obama, he's speaking from a teleprompter. He's not speaking off the cuff, But his speech writers are able to craft speeches for him that come off, and part of it is just that he's just a great speech giver to begin with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of that sounds off the cuff, whereas with Joe, he talks, on the prompter, and you can tell he's on prompter, and you can tell when he goes off prompter, and sometimes he goes off prompter and gets himself in trouble.
Yep.
A lot of times he goes off prompter and gets himself in trouble.
Yep.
All right, man. What else? Anything else?
I don't think so, man.
Father's Day.
Like Sunday morning.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah. Happy Father's Day to the fathers and only the fathers out there. You single moms already had your day, so enjoy. Like EJ said, don't get cornered into grilling and doing yard work and shit.
Yeah,
But
give
what if she
yourself a
can't
break.
What if she
Unless
don't
you
know
want, unless you want to.
You talking
how?
about
Like,
the
what
lady?
the last time? Yeah, what the last time she did it? Like the steak was tasting like propane and shit. You know?
Oh,
She don't got a grill.
We take me somewhere to eat like you motherfuckers be getting, and it ain't gonna be packed. It ain't gonna be packed. You could guarantee that shit.
That's true. You could probably get a reservation anywhere today.
You could walk in. Yeah. Why you guys here? Sunday, Father's Day.
Like, oh shit, we didn't even know.
Oh,
Exactly.
Let me talk to my manager, see if we got any discounts.
Any specials? Exactly. It's all good.
I'm telling you, man. Telling you.
It's all good. It's all good. All right, man. Well, if nothing else fun and exciting, let's go ahead. I'll hand it off to VP to get us up out of here.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on this pre 12 p.m. edition of the Castworthy podcast. First in a long time. Hopefully not the last one in a long time. But we definitely appreciate you guys taking the time out on this Sunday to rock with us. To all the fathers out there, again, happy Father's Day to you. Hope that you enjoy your day, eat a nice meal, relax. And I'd want to co-sign on Steve's push to get Father's Day moved to September. That way, you enjoy some football, it's brewski, sit back with your feet up and watch the game. That'd be perfect. I'm gonna see if I can talk to Joe Biden on that. But anyway, with that being said, man, like we always say, make that phone call, send a text message, reach out to somebody, let them know you're thinking about them, and I'm pretty sure you'll appreciate it. They'll appreciate it. We also will let you. Well, I'm getting losing it here. You can also
Tongue-tied.
find the podcast on all podcasting platforms by searching at Casworthy. You can also follow us or hit us up on any of our social media by also searching at Casworthy. On Instagram, it's at Casworthy_podcast. While you're there, you can leave us a like, you can comment, subscribe, share, follow, tell a friend, help us grow the audience. We very much appreciate it. And with that being said, man, we will see you guys next week with another fresh episode of the Casworthy Podcast. We out. We love you. Enjoy your day.